Whoops. Hey, oh, hey, me. Sorry about that. I didn't have the lens cover off. So anyway, welcome to Fab Daddy Garage. I am your host, Fab Daddy. If you've seen my older videos, no, you're not seeing things. I trimmed the beard off because, let's be honest, you got to see the cool sweatshirt. And my fun t-shirts. Anyway, it's a really cold, dreary, nasty day here in central Indiana. I think the temperature is like 42 and the real feel is 37. And I'm kind of under the weather. I don't feel the best, so this is probably going to be a short video, but I want to get something done for my 30 hours and 30 days, so here we are. As you can see, I'm here in the shop, made some improvements, which I have the door closed. I'm going to spin you around. See, both doors are shut. Probably can't tell real well, but both doors are shut, but it's still nice and bright here in the shop because I got 2 new lights at Harbor Freight. See if I can see them there. And they're actually pretty cool. They're really light. I wasn't sure how I was going to hang them on the ceiling. I was actually going to run some ratchet straps from, there's hooks up here along the ceiling. I got my Pontiac hubcap hanging from. Then I was going to run ratchet straps across and then hang the lights from the ratchet straps. But these things were so light, I actually found some magnets at, I believe, Meyer. That far one is being held up by 2 little magnets about the size of a quarter. This one, I found some really powerful magnets at Harbor Freight when I bought the lights. They're about that big around, and they're powerful enough. I smashed my finger on one of them, putting them on there. So they're a little overkill. As soon as I get to Meyer and find some more of the smaller ones, I'll use those, and then I'll get this first one hung up the same way so that it's not hanging down in the way. But anyway, so here we are in the shop. Like I said, nice and bright now. What I'm working on today is I'm working on the mounts for the engine control module, transmission control module, and the TAC, the throttle air control, or throttle air control. Yeah. Again, I've explained before, this takes the signal from the electronic gas pedal, comes into here. This sends the correct signal out to the ECU for the throttle body. So here's what I kind of had in mind. Get you centered up and we'll zoom in a little bit. So what I had in mind was, I think I may have explained it, putting gloves on because it's cold out here and everything I touch is cold. I explained it before. I wanted gosh darn it, the ECU, the engine control module, the transmission control module to kind of sit in there like this. This being back towards the cab, front of the truck is that way. So I'm going to turn them. So like towards me would be the front of the truck. And I've seen a lot of people hang them this way with the connectors facing up. I kind of want to put them facing that way to kind of mitigate water egress into these control modules, just to kind of help prevent, not that I'm expecting them to get, flooded out or anything like that, but it's what I came up with for that, which this has been programmed. What I came up with was, I have this little plate that is going to fit like this. Actually, we'll go this way. Front of the truck is this way, back of the truck that way. This would bolt to the bottom of the battery tray, and then this plate would go, it would weld together like so. Can you see that? Hold back up. Would weld together like that. And then, like I said, the engine control module would fit here. Transmission control module would fit there. And then I'd trim around it. The only problem was I didn't know where I was going to mount the TAC or the TAC. I thought about tucking it in. I think I showed this in another video. Tucking it in there. Kind of be up and kind of be in and out of the way, but I don't think I have enough wiring to go all the way around, because this will be facing the front of the truck. I might, but something else I came up with was, since I have 2 plates here, there won't be room to mount it here on top. because there's not enough, it won't be enough space between the battery and the engine control module. So I thought, oh, I can mount it up underneath. It'd be kind of tucked up out of the way. Wouldn't have to worry about it getting damaged or anything like that. The problem is this little plate that I've already cut isn't big enough to hold the TAC. And if I'd thought about it, if I'd actually sat and planned this out a little bit better, I probably could have used, because this came off of here, I think it was right there, and then the rest of that is just back there, or right here. I cut off a one big plate. If I'd thought it out better, I probably could have figured out a way to cut this, or not, cut out this shape, score the backside and bend it and still have one piece. I didn't think that out, and also didn't think out, I hadn't planned out where this was going to fit yet. So what I came up with was, I'm going to get rid of this plate. No, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm going to put it in the drawer, save it for another project. And I found this one that actually this will fit. It's a little bit, not quite as wide as the plate that's going to hold everything, but it's the right size to hold this. As you can see, it's wide enough to catch all the bolt holes. Thing is, it's too long. I only need like 6 inches long. I had a tape measure sitting here. I guess I put it away. It's only, needs to be 6 inches long, so it's going to have to basically cut it in half. And I don't like cutting plates down because, well, I'd rather just use a smaller. So I was like, man, I don't want to cut that down. Then I kept digging, scrounging, and I found this crusty rusty. It's 1/4 inch. It's a little bit heavier than what I need, but it's actually will probably work out because it's going to be supporting some weight. It's 6 inches this way, which is perfect length to get it away from the battery with enough room for the engine control module. Like that. Actually, it might be a little too much. Anyway, but it's also, oh wait, no. Yeah, it's 6 inches this way. So yeah, that's how it's going to fit. See, I can't know how well I can tell. There's just enough room in there to be able to get down for the battery tie down, and the hood cable goes through there. But it's also, we put it in here. So say again, front of the truck away from the camera, cab of the truck towards the camera. This is the perfect size plate to not only get everything far enough away from the battery to fit, it's also wide enough to hold the TAC perfectly. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to clean this edge up a little bit because it's kind of rough. Looks like somebody hacked it off with a torch or something, which is fine. So I'm going to clean this edge up, clean the edges up, probably clean the top off of it, whichever side I decide to use as the top. Get my holes marked for not only the mounting holes, but I also have to notch it out for the battery hold down bolt nut assembly. Get that all cleaned up, figure out how I want this to sit in here. So I'll probably go this way because this is a little bit cleaner edge that people are going to see. I'll get it all cleaned up, get everything centered, make sure it's actually going to fit where I want it to fit. Clean up here where I'm going to weld it, get it all welded together, I'll get the holes drilled in this for not only to mount this to the battery tray, but to get the tack mounted here up underneath. That's something I have to remember because one side has one hole, one side has two. Anyway, figure out where the holes need to be for the engine control module to mount. So I have 4 holes to drill there. And then figure out where the holes are going to be for the transmission control module. Actually, if I flip that around, that hole might actually work because there's already a hole in it. Anyway, get all those bolt holes drilled out where I want them, and then clean up the plates the best I can. Clean everything up, get it welded together, and then I'm probably going to try to figure out some way to take a mount off of this corner and run up to the radiator support just to kind of give it a little bit of triangulation, a little bit more strength. So once I get it welded together, I'll go ahead and do that step. So that's what I have planned for today. This is, I think, day 11 of the 30-day 30 hours in 30 days challenge put out by Barberry 1983. If you haven't checked her out, get on Facebook. It's BARBARY.1983. She's working on a really cool 74 GMC C15, which is near and dear to my heart because I have a 1974 Chevy K25. I know K25 probably sounds weird, but it's a 3/4 ton truck with 1 ton suspension and axles. But yeah, she has some stuff that's near and dear to my heart. She has a late 80s Suburban that kind of matches my other truck, Beaver. But she put out a challenge to do 30 hours of work in 30 days. And so far, like I said, I missed a few days this past weekend because I was camping, but I had a few hours in the bank. So anyway, I'm not going to make you watch me do this, but check back soon and I will have a finished product probably mounted in the truck next time you see it. So thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Get out and do something cool. God bless.